Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Sinful Dolls and you're watching Disney Channel. Just kidding. Today we're going to be discussing the newest Bratz collab release, which is the Karol G doll. But before we get into it, make sure you guys are subscribed and turn on notifications so that you know every time I post. Let's get into it. So if you've been living under a rock, you might not know about the newest collab announced by Bratz, which is their celebrity collab with Karol G. Now, these dolls, if you're in the community, they were kind of announced and teased a couple months back, or even I think as early as last year, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of people have already known about it, but it was officially announced today on Rolling Stone, who did an article about the doll collab. And later today, it was announced on Bratz's Instagram page. And as you can see, they already have information up about the listing on Bratz's site. So we're gonna go over and read it. So here is what the coming soon page looks like for the doll. She comes with a couple accessories and stuff, but obviously we're gonna go talk a little bit more about it once we click on it. So here we go. The doll will be $50 and will release on December 3rd, and it is limit one per customer. So here's a little bit of what she looks like. She has this cute little bustier dress. It's metallic. She has her little awards. I think it's really cute, like her albums and stuff like that. I did find it interesting that they said in the description that the deco may vary. So I don't know if they mean certain things will not be included, or I don't know, but you can see like the authentication card, and she comes with 2 outfits or 3 maybe, because I know there's like a t-shirt dress and then there's a long sleeve shirt. But the doll so far, she looks kind of cute. I personally don't know much about Karol G, I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's a cute doll. I love the box. I love the wire wrapped hearts. I actually have a Bratz tattoo with the same heart. I'll probably insert a picture of it so y'all can see my Sasha tattoo, but I think it's cute. I know a lot of people have already been a little bit upset, but we're going to talk about that later. So before we get into that, the video is going to be divided into a couple sections. The first section, we're going to just discuss the doll, what it looks like, and the features. And the next part will be me discussing my opinions on the collab. And then the next part will be talking about the future of Bratz and Bratz with these celebrity collabs and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys are ready for that. So let's get into discussing the dolls. So let's start with the doll box. The box design is so pretty. Like I said, I love the heart layout. It's very cute. I love how the little cutout is her face, and the back design is really cute with her and 2 of the outfits. I do see that one of them is missing, but the design and the colors is very pretty. I love the holographic details. I'm a sucker for that. And like I said, I love even the handle has that little barbed wire thing. I love it. And from what I saw, Karol G actually has a tattoo that's very similar. So I think that was really cute, bringing in a lot of her personal touches. And so now let's get into the doll. So she has blonde hair with like a pink undercoloring, which I think that's true to Karol G. And her little tattoo is so cute. I do like the little rosettes on the dress. The detailing is pretty nice. And this is just her, and I guess her first outfit, which is this dress, which I think is like inspired by one of her actual dresses that she's worn before. Really cute, nice little bubble dress. I did see some people say that it's not very accurate to the one that she wore, but I don't know that for sure. So here's what it looks like will be included with the doll. It looks like we will have her base outfit with a pair of shoes. We have one of her albums. We have this cute little crop sweater, which I think these clothing pieces are inspired by her actual merch, if I'm not mistaken. I think like bachata. I'm probably not saying that correctly, forgive me. But her little shirt, the little t-shirt, it's oversized. I really think that's cute. And the sweatpants. I think dolls need more leisure dress. I love stuff like that. Then it looks like we have like a little monogrammed lip purse, really cute. Her barbed wire earrings and this necklace. We also have 3 awards. The envelope, I don't really know not the importance. I don't really know the significance of that. I don't know if the authentication card will be in there. I don't know. And then we have a doll stand. What I will say is I think it would have been cool if they gave her a second pair of shoes. I don't know. I feel like $50. I feel like a second pair of shoes could be a good addition, but I don't know. What do y'all think? Yeah, really cute. Like I said, I love the little merch tie-ins. I like those. They're cute. And a brush. I forgot to mention the signature Bratz Star brush. Now this image features her in one of the outfits. She has on the little charm necklace, the earrings, the sweatpants with the little designs on them, and the heart shirt. She also has the same shoes. Like I said, I wish they had given her another pair of shoes that was different. And then here's with the like oversized t-shirt dress and the purse. Really cute. Again, I feel like a different pair of shoes would really look good, but you know, it is what it is. So this next section, we're just going to get into my personal feelings on the doll and the collab in general. So I am one of those people that was not very familiar with Miss Karol G. I hope I have not been calling her Becky G, because I think I confused her with Becky G, which I don't even know much about her either. I just know she was popular quite a few years ago. That's all I know. It's no offense to the artist or anything like that. I just never really listened to her music or anything like that. And as somebody who grew up on reggaeton and all types of music and listen to all types of music, I just, you know, I've just never really heard of her music nowadays. You know, I might see people talking about her on social media. I do know she had a collab with Fortnite. I do play Fortnite, and I know she was one of the artists that was featured on like the Music Pass this summer. So I do know her from there, but you know, I'm not really that familiar with her as an artist. So with the doll, I do think the doll is very cute. But for the price point, and I just don't have any connection to the artist. It's just not for me. It's no shade to Karol G or anyone else or fans of her. It's just not for me, which is fine. I personally don't usually buy things unless I have a connection to it or it's something I've always wanted. On one hand, the Mean Girls collab was one I was really looking forward to because I've been a fan of Mean Girls since I was a child, and it's one of my favorite movies, and I quote it all the time. But you know, Karol G, I don't know anything about her. I think it's a cute doll. I do love the accessories and stuff, but just for the price point and the fact that I'm not that familiar with her as an artist or anything like that, it's just not for me. But you know, I do hope that the people who are interested in the doll and the people who are fans of Karol G, I do hope that they're able to have a successful launch, and I hope that they're able to get their dolls without having to battle resellers. But we all know how that goes. I just personally hope that it's a smooth transition, and I hope it's better than the Mean Girls collab for those people. I did read a lot of things that people had to say on Reddit and other platforms. And one complaint that I saw a lot of people make was that the doll is a limited release again. And we all saw what happened the last time MGA did a limited release. And I have my own thoughts about that. But we will talk about that later in the video. Like I said, we're going to talk about some things that I feel about MGA as a company and how things have gone lately, things that I would like to see change. We're going to talk about all that later in the video, but right now we're just focusing on this at hand because I have a lot to say about that. But I understand why a lot of people are kind of iffy about it, because people that do want the doll, they're fearful that they're not going to be able to get it because of limited release. And we already know limited release means nothing when we have botters and resellers in our midst. We know how that goes, and MGA has not done anything to prevent those things from happening, so it'll be very interesting. I also saw people complaining that they chose a South American artist, but most South Americans, let me rephrase that because I do not want that to be misconstrued. One of the arguments that I saw a lot of people make is that they don't even ship to South America in most cases, the Bratz website, and the fact that the doll is limited to the Bratz website. So it's going to be even more difficult for people to get the doll. So I did see a lot of people complain about that, and I do think that's a very valid concern, because you need to make sure that fans of the product that you're releasing can access it. And most people don't want to have to buy from a secondhand source. They want to be able to go straight to the Bratz website and buy the item. So I do think they need to work on that. I don't know if people in South America are going to be able to easily get the doll because of that, but I guess time will tell. But I hope that the people who want it are able to get it. So again, now we're going to talk about some arguments that I've been seeing in the community because whoop, Chile. This has been a hot button topic all morning. So I think I saw the release info at 8 this morning with the Rolling Stone article or something like that. Maybe a little bit later. And then I later saw that Bratz released their initial post this afternoon. And I have seen very mixed opinions. So y'all already know my opinion. I don't really have a dog in this fight because it's not something I'm looking forward to. So I don't really care too much about it. But I did see a lot of people were like, why couldn't we get somebody else? I saw people recommending Sabrina Carpenter. I don't even know if I agree with that. I feel like every time the question of who do you think should be a Bratz collab goes around, you're always going to have people that completely agree. And then you're going to have people who are like, absolutely not. So, which we will get into later because I do think that MGA needs to do surveys. They need to really get input from the community. I know that a lot of people have said, she has a big fan base, which I'm not denying she doesn't. Like, I think she does. But one of the things that I think that people forget is having a big fan base doesn't mean that it's going to sell dolls. But we're going to touch on that in a bit because I do have a lot more to say on that point. But I've seen people arguing about the fact that they don't think she deserved the collab because she's not as popular. I've seen the argument that people say that American fans are very centralist and they think that America is the only country that matters, which those arguments that I have seen are kind of weird for a lot of reasons. I haven't now, this is me personally now. I know some people said they saw some racist comments, which I didn't see any of those when I was, browsing. So I can't say if they were there or not, but I think people were being xenophobic about like Latino people or something like that. Like, I don't know, but I was like, I didn't see any of that, but I'm not saying it didn't happen. But I saw a lot of people saying like, oh, Americans are mad because they think everything revolves around them. And I'm like, I don't know where that argument is coming from at all. Now, I do think if you hate the doll just because you don't know the artist, that's a problem. Because just because you don't know somebody doesn't mean that they're not deserving of something. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like, oh, I don't know enough about this person or I don't like them, they don't deserve it all. That's not okay. Because, that's just you. You don't have to buy it if you don't connect to the artist, which is why I'm not buying it, because I don't know anything about her. So I can't justify spending $50 on somebody I don't know anything about. But if you're making these arguments that she shouldn't have a doll for that reason, then that's kind of dumb. But also, I've seen people saying that, she's big in the Latin American community and that people, if you don't speak Spanish, then you wouldn't know. And it's like, I don't think that's a good argument. I think it's just, if you don't listen to certain things or you don't watch certain things, it doesn't mean you're a hater. It just means you're not familiar, and that's fine. I don't know. It's just been a lot of back and forth in the community, and I'm just like, everybody has what they like, everybody has what they don't like, but you don't need to make offensive comments because you don't agree with something. And I think, let people have things, and not everything has to be for you. But that brings me to the other arguments that I saw, which a lot of people disagree with this collab because allegedly, she allegedly, because I don't know the truthfulness of this and it's not my place to judge, but I did see a lot of arguments that she could possibly be a Zionist or Islamophobic. That's what I saw people saying. or that she is pro-Israel, I don't know. But that I do think could be a valid reason that some people disagree with the collab or dislike the collab. I think that's a very valid reason for some people to be against it. But with that same argument, other people mentioned that Isaac Laren, the head of MGA himself, is also, he follows the same beliefs. So take that as you will. And I have my own opinions about him, and I just feel like the man lacks social awareness. Like, that's just my opinion, especially when you see some of the stuff that he says on his LinkedIn or some of the comments he makes. And it's like, you need to put that energy into fixing your company. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, so I understand a lot of the arguments on all sides. But again, like I said, if the doll isn't for you, it's not for you. And that's fine. You don't have to buy it. But also don't harass people who want it. And also people who want it, don't harass people for having their opinions for why they don't. Because we should all be mature. Because I think a lot of us are adults. So let's act like it. But that's just my 10 cents about that. So another thing that I saw is people saying that she's going to sell out regardless of if you know her or regardless of if you like her music, because she is very popular in the Latin American community. And my only thing about that is, I'm not saying if the doll will or will not sell out, but I don't think that's a good argument for the simple fact that, look at the Kylie dolls. Kylie Jenner is arguably very popular and has been for a while. But popularity does not translate to dolls. And I think this is one of my biggest issues with these doll collabs. And this isn't just an MGA problem. This is a Mattel problem too, especially in the Monster High community. Because if you know about I think Harris Reed Monster High doll that, I don't know if it already dropped or not. I think it did. But just because somebody is popular does not mean they're going to be popular to doll collectors. You might have a huge fan base, but does that mean that your fan base is going to translate to buying dolls? Okay? I just think we need to think about that. We need to focus on, well, I don't know, I'm saying we. I don't work in the doll community. I'm not a doll company, but I think doll companies need to focus on collabs that relate to your audience. If you're going to collab with a makeup influencer, it needs to be makeup related, like makeup for Bratz or whatever. I don't know. I didn't mean to say makeup for Bratz, but they've collabed with ColourPop. They have collabed with Revolution. Okay, those are audiences that can overlap because a lot of us in the community also wear makeup. A lot of us like makeup. Okay, good. But if you're going after a makeup brand and you're going after, somebody who's known for only makeup, but nobody in their community is really a doll collector or something, is that smart? I don't know. I just think that riding the wave of a popular person is not always going to translate to doll sales. But I do think they know that they have a botting problem and they know that even if it is somebody that nobody likes, the resellers are going to buy up the dolls anyway, and they don't give a fuck about what happens after they're out of their hands. It's a sell to them. It doesn't matter if $50 went to Joe Blow down the street who's going to resell them for $300 on eBay. They don't care because they made that money already by just selling it to them. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. So in this next part, we are going to start discussing what I think about the future of Bratz as a whole. So let's pivot over to that. All right, so this is the final part. We're just going to talk about my opinion on the future of Bratz and with collabs and everything. So I feel like Bratz has a lot of things that need to be fixed if they want to continue to prosper. Oh my goodness, I cannot talk. If they want to continue to prosper as a brand. And it needs to be some business changes as well as just how they treat the consumer in general. So personally, with collabs, the last few collabs have been very interesting, to say the least. Mean Girls had the potential to be a very successful collab. I don't even know if we can call it a collab, I don't know. But a lot of issues on the logistics side went wrong. I think making it a limited release that could only be purchased on the Bratz website was one of them. I do think that it should have been extended to maybe not even retail, but at least Amazon. I think that would have been a nice way for people to have gotten easier access. But the fact that it was a limited release was kind of iffy. I don't know. Doing a limited release when you're not doing anything about bots or preventing bots is kind of dumb. Bots are ruining everything, these botters and resellers, and I feel like MGA has the funds to enlist, the cyber folks to prevent that. I always talk about how Sony did that with the PS5 issue, and I think a lot of these companies could also do it, but they don't want to because profit. They don't care if true fans are getting their product as long as profit is being made. And if that profit, is being made by a botter, so what? Because it's still sold. I think they really need to work on that to begin with. And putting a limit 1 per customer isn't going to change anything when the botters can override that. So that's the first thing. Also, with the collabs, I do feel like they need to listen more to the community as a whole. And they could do this by sending out surveys. They could put polls. Well, I think they've done that in the past, if I'm not mistaken. But send out surveys, email surveys, or post a survey on their social media and be like, hey guys, go to the Bratz site and let us know what you want to see. Give us a list of options. I'm also a simmer, and The Sims 4 has its own issues, but one thing I will say is that every now and then they will put out a survey about user interest and to see what players want, and they'll give like a list of options, like would you want an apocalyptic pack, would you like a home pack, whatever, and people vote, and eventually a couple of those packs will be made. I think Bratz could definitely do that when it comes to these collabs. Give us a list of possible options, or at least just ask what we would like to see and go from there. I think that would alleviate a lot of the issue of people feeling like we're getting stuff that we didn't ask for, or collabs that a lot of people are unfamiliar with. Now, I'm not saying that, only one, geographic location should be included. It should be everywhere. It should be worldwide. Or they could do, different areas and be like, what's popular over here, what's popular there, just to get a better, view of the worldwide fans. They also need to have better purchasing options for people outside of the US. This is a worldwide, brand. People like Bratz worldwide. They need to have a better, more streamlined way for people to purchase from the site themselves, and they need to offer shipping in other territories. I think that would also alleviate a lot of the issues that collectors have, and people wouldn't have to buy secondhand or from resellers. Next, I think they need to improve their social media presence. A lot of people had issues with the Mean Girls collab where people were asking on social media for updates or anything, and the person in charge of the social media had some kind of iffy responses. I get that they want to go with the whole, whatever, type of response, but there's a time and a place, and it doesn't really seem very Bratz. Now, I'm not going to say too much because I don't know how many people in charge of the social media they have, but knowing about one of them, I would hope that them being a fan of Bratz, I would hope that they would think if they were in the shoes of the average, consumer on that page versus, being in charge of the page. And I would hope that they would realize that's not a way to talk to customers. And I think they need a dedicated customer service, feature on Instagram, because Instagram has shop features. If you're not going to answer those questions appropriately as the social media manager, then you need to have someone specialized in customer service to do that and direct them to the right avenue for their questions and concerns. It's not always cute to give the very, angsty teen responses, even if that is what they're going for on the page. I don't know. It's just a little inconsiderate, and you're not really thinking about the customers. But honestly, I feel like they just need to go back to the drawing board as a business and really focus on what they want. I know they said that they wanted to market to young adults versus teenagers and children, which, okay, then you need to make, products that align with that. And they just need to have a clear view of how they're marketing, how they're going to go forward with creating products. Give the people what they want, not what will make money. You need to do both. You need to give the people what they want so that the people will want to spend money, not just doing what you think will make money when you've seen the results of the other stuff. I'm always going to bring up those damn Kylie dolls that are still in the stores over a year later, untouched. And in one of my Walmarts, they're still full price, and it's like nobody's buying them. You need to drop the price. But that's neither here nor there. That's another story for another day. But I do love Bratz. I do love the brand. I've always been a Bratz fan. I just hope that they would start to listen to the consumer and give us what we want. And please, more than just a handful of people, I guess. I don't know. There's just a lot of things they need to do. Mr. Larian needs to stop ranting on LinkedIn or whatever and competing with Mattel and just get, not to quote Lotto, but like, do you rap or do you tweet? I can't tell. Get in the booth, bitch. Like, he needs to get his business together, make shit that people want, and stop doing all this other extra shit. I don't know. But I've gone on long enough. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And I will see y'all in my next one. Bye.